So yesterday, I had a wild fucking journey, right?
Okay.
My whole day was, I mean, it wasn't like wild where it was like life changing or anything, but it was really fucking interesting.
Tell me about your day.
Um, the day started obviously with work. After that, there was a happy hour that I was invited to because an old boss that I had was he's no longer in the role, right? And I've talked about before, you know, how shitty this individual was, but he is no longer in that role.
So everybody was throwing a party because he wasn't in the role.
Well, yeah, right. So there were like 5 of us, and it was just like, yeah, like let's celebrate, right? And I'm not even in that fucking line of work anymore. But I want to ask you something, and I want to preface this question with, yeah, I understand there's a difference between like a boss and a leader and a manager, but for the sake of this, I'm just going to be referring to it as a boss, right?
Okay, boss.
What makes a boss terrible?
If they micromanage and you don't need to be micromanaged, is probably my number one no. Like they're bad. If they just don't know what they're doing at all.
What about someone who's like passive aggressive and they like, it's like just like instead of the whole transparency thing, they're passive aggressive. Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's terrible. I hate passive aggressive because then you don't know, because you're never sure if they're attacking you.
Sure, right. Yeah, I feel like for me, it's more that, so being passive aggressive is horrible, but like being like, I don't even want to say like a know-it-all, but like not letting someone like kind of grow in their role, like putting limitations and like kind of having like a ceiling that like you won't be ever able to kind of go and bust out of that ceiling, because I'm going to make sure that you don't. Like, I'm going to stifle your creativity or any ideas you have. I think that's my biggest pet peeve. And that's how this individual was. It was like, hey, any idea I would present? Nah, I don't like that because that's not how I would do it.
Oh, you know what would be even better is if they then take that idea
and then use it as their own.
It was like, hey guys, I had this great idea.
And everyone's like, it was at Key and Peele where it was like, I wish I were high on pot news. Like, no, that was my joke. They're like, it's not cool to take other people. Yeah, right. So you know, we go out and I'm out doing the happy hour thing.
So he's there.
He
right?
came. I invited him.
This is a celebration.
I invited him out. Yeah, no, he was not there.
Oh, okay. So you're not kidding. This is legit a celebration.
It was a happy hour to celebrate him not being in that role anymore. It was. I got invited, and it was like, hey, whatever you're doing, drop it and come out. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So do that. I wanted to get I've been eyeing, so right behind me, the 5150, that guitar amp. So it's an Eddie Van Halen combo guitar amp. And this specific one, I was going to get a smaller one, but I went onto the website and they had and this is important to the story, they had a cheaper used one and it was bigger, right? So the used one was $50 cheaper than the smaller new one.
The 5100.
Well, so it's the 5150. There's a 15 watt and a 40 watt, right? That doesn't really matter to you, but you know,
sure.
The 15 watt has 1 speaker. This one has 2, right?
Okay.
So it's significantly smaller. So I call up and I say, hey, I want to place the order. I'll be in later today. And he's like, cool, right on. As soon as the payment clears, like you can come in and pick it up. We'll put it to the side. So I drive. I'm not going to say the name of the
establishment
shop, yes, but I go in and I said, hey, my name is Greg. I'm here to pick up. I ordered the 5150 earlier this morning. And the guy was like, okay, so let me backtrack. Do you remember the Amanda show, Totally Kyle, Drake Bell?
Yeah.
Okay. So I go in, and this dude, he didn't have like long blonde hair, but he just had really dirty curly hair.
Okay.
Real overweight. So it was like appearance was different, but his personality was the same. So he's just sitting there, and he has this Epiphone guitar, and he's just like just playing it terribly. It's not plugged in, and there's nothing that sounds worse than an unplugged like electric guitar that's just kind of like being played, and he's got his foot up on the fucking register. And
like,
said, hey,
like he's shredding like that,
kind of, but like trying to
like
shred, but like how Lil Wayne plays guitar, where it's just real bad.
Okay.
So I said, hey, like my name's Greg. I want to pick my guitar up. And he said, okay. Or I said, I want to pick my amp up. And he said, okay. And then he just kept shredding. I was like, so like, how do I?
You can't stop the shred, bro. You should know this.
Well, right, yeah, right. I was like, well, how do I get it? And he said, I honestly, I don't know if we even have that one in stock. And I was like, well, you shouldn't technically have it in stock anymore because I bought it. And as soon as I bought it, it went out of stock. He was like, I don't know, man. And I was like, well, I have the receipt and then I have the text saying to come pick it up. And he said, oh, okay. And then he just proceeded to just stand there. And I was like, do you want me to go like, talk to someone else or, and he was like, oh, no, I'll go get it for you. Do you want it? And I was like, well, yeah, please. Dude disappears for like 40 minutes, which is fine. Dude, like this fuck appears. And that's fine. So I'm walking around looking at the guitars. There's something about music, like just shops in general that I really like the atmosphere. There were like two kids playing guitar and it was just like, I just like looking at the stuff in person. Right. But then he comes back and he's like, oh, it's up front. So whenever you want it, you're good to go. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, so the guitar amp typically comes with a foot switch. Does the used one have that? Because if it doesn't, like I'm going to have to buy a third party one. And I would rather know now so I could just buy one here, like an off-brand one. And he was like, and I was like, well, like, could you check? And so,
do you need someone to help you out, big guy?
Yeah, right. And then he goes, like, I'm talking to him. He's like, do you have tattoos? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, is that Watchmen? What did you think about the TV show? Like, totally changed the time. And I was like, oh, I didn't watch the whole like series. I just watched, I don't know. And then this motherfucker goes, so what are you here for?
Yo,
and
this
I'm like,
guy's stoned.
So I don't know if he was like trying to play the stereotypical like, I'm the guy that works at the music shop.
I'm your friendly neighborhood music shop.
But it was fucking
guy.
annoying because like at this point, like we were trying to record an episode, but also it was getting late and it's an hour from there back to my house. So I was like, dude, like I just want to get it. And then, so yeah, he doesn't know about the fucking doesn't know about the foot switch. So then I finally got someone who was competent, and he was like, "Hey, like if we had it, it would be on top. Like we tape all this shit to the top, whatever." And then he goes, "Oh, okay. Well, bye." And then like they didn't even. I don't want to say they had to help me, but like it was on a dolly, and like in a perfect world, I would have been like, "Hey, then can I just use the dolly to take it out?" Because it's not like it's like 60 pounds, so it's not super heavy, but it's got weight to it and it's bulky, right?
That's like a you're ever moving something heavy and you have to like pick it up, but you have to
definitely had to like pick it, like there was a curb, I had to put it down and like
hang on the curb, readjust.
Yep. And like I said, it's not like super heavy, but it was just the principle of the thing, and it's fucked up because like I said, I love going into music shops, like I love going and looking at stuff, but it's reasons like that where okay, well I'm never gonna go back there. I'll just go to the website next time and buy it direct.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, like if your customer service is going to be that fucking, and I don't want to say necessarily like it was like he wasn't rude,
right? But he just wasn't helpful.
It was just annoying. And so, have you ever been to like? Have you ever gone out to like a retail location and you've had such a shitty fucking experience, but the individual wasn't rude? It was just like,
yeah, dog. You know what I mean? We both went last time we went to GameStop at the mall. The guy was just like. He was exactly that.
Yes.
And you know what? It's your fucking tattoos that do it.
Well,
because he was like, "Oh, look at those. I was thinking about getting something on my arm right here."
I forgot about that. And once again, he was super friendly.
Nothing wrong.
But
he was he was just bored.
Oh yeah,
he was bored. Didn't have anything to do because it's GameStop. No offense. I love.
I know
GameStop.
it's so sad. Like
it's a regular stop at the mall every single time we go.
But GameStop, like, it's what now you have two shelves of games essentially, and then it's just like
Funko Pops
or like figures, like board games and T-shirts. Like that's it. So it's really, I mean, GameStop used to be the shit. You go in, you'd have all the used games, and then they would run sweet promos. But like, when was the last time that you bought a physical game, like a physical copy of a game?
It might have been. I don't think it was 7 Days to Die, but it might have been. When it was.
And how long ago was that?
5-6 years ago, 2018.
But now, And it's fucked up because people who love physical media, like they swear by it. Me, if I can just download a game now that's coming out in 6 months and then day one, I'm ready to fucking go, then I'm going to do that.
I'll tell you what, there was something about going to a midnight release of a video game, right? Waiting in line. I'm not talking to anybody. It's probably cold because it's Q3,
always.
Right? Q3, Q4 of the year, right before Christmas. And as you're on your way home, you're at a red light, and you cut it open so that you can get it down faster. But now you just download it. There's no pamphlet that you can read through. You have to also download it. I mean, you have to download it even if you got the physical copy. You're still going to wait then, what, an hour?
So when did games stop doing the little pamphlet, the booklet inside? I mean, that happened, I want to say a little bit ago, where it was just go to this website to
it was instead of a big book, like the Nintendo 64 games, I remember were like the best for it.
Well, because and they packaged their shit in a box.
Yep.
And those boxes, I saw it was a Super Mario, I think it was a Mario Kart. And I guess a Toys R Us was closing and they moved out a shelf from the video game section, and there was a perfectly preserved sealed box, and I don't know if the person like stole it. Like, I mean, I feel like most people probably wanted, like, I'm going to take this, and then it's sold for a ton of money.
Yeah, the nostalgia, right? There's money in nostalgia.
Those like you can find like a high graded N64 game that I don't know what the high. I mean, I'm gonna assume it's like The Legend of Zelda or something, where it's like an unopened, sealed.
No, I got you. All it needs is to not have you as an 8-year-old writing your name on the top ridge of the
fucking
N64
marker. Yeah, for whatever reason, like someone was
and then
going
not
to
a bunch of spit on the little spindles.
But we all used to write our names on the cartridges, but everyone had the same game, so I don't know why we would travel. Like, all right, I'm coming over to Eric's house. You already have Super Smash, but I'm going to bring my fucking copy also for some reason.
Yo, I miss Super Smash Brothers.
Super Smash was the shit.
The new one on the not even new on the one on the Switch doesn't scratch that itch for me the way that, honestly, I think the best one was what was that?
Melee
on
the GameCube. Oh my god,
that was the best one. I mean, I love the N64 one.
I think my thing as a whole with the Switch, like the Switch has some really good games. It does. I just don't really like the console.
Sure.
I don't like handheld, and that's how I normally play it. Like, I know you can dock it. But I'll play it handheld, and I don't like how I have to leave it plugged in, because if I'm going to play The Legend of Zelda or Kirby or whatever, like, I'm going to play for hours, and then I'm going to have to probably plug it into a USB-C, so that way it's going to die.
Yeah. I took mine on a plane with me.
Did you?
And played it, pretty well. There was somebody
else the way there
that had one with it, and it's a good way to kill time. It's just like your Game Boy. It's
a
like that.
Badass Game Boy.
I have to disagree with you. I like that you can have it mobile and have it like a Game Boy, because it's a lot better than a Game Boy. It's just like a Xbox, but not an Xbox. It's like an Xbox 360, but a Game Boy.
I feel like, though, too, like, for me, I can't, like, I'm envious of the gamers that can sit back on a couch and play. Like, I have to be super close to the screen. That's why I like playing with a monitor. Because I like being like, some people literally will be super far away and like they'll be able to play. I can't do that shit. Yeah. You got to get the hunch, you gotta
I'm
be able to do that.
I'm locked in right here, playing just right in this seat right here. I could.
And I don't know, like, what the optimal. Do you know what is the optimal screen size for playing games?
It's like 6 inches. I mean, it's probably like 20.
I think
the screen
6 inches, right?
Yeah, that's 6 inches. That's average. That's the average screen size, right?
The optimal screen size for gaming is what? Or what would you say is your perfect, like, what is perfect gaming for you?
Shit, mine is like a 24-inch screen.
I think mine's like 23.
Yeah.
22, 23 maybe?
I don't know what the standards are, but I know that I think it's like whatever my eyes see without having to, like, use my peripherals just a little bit, maybe.
I should be able to look directly at it. And
you ever see those curved? Not the curved ones. The wide screen, the ones that are like.
Yep.
Apparently, they don't format very well for most video games, but like if like I know somebody at work that has one, and
like the wide,
really wide screen, and it kind of wraps a little bit. I think it's curved as well, but it looks really nice for work.
Yeah,
I think I might like it better than the dual monitor.
Yeah, I feel like mine is just your standard monitor.
I've got a piece of shit second monitor that I don't know. I hate it. The work setup is not as good as the home setup.
So I'm curious to see, everyone. Let us know favorite monitors to use for gaming and using your PC, right? Like that's what I want to know, what everyone else is using, so then I can do more, because I feel like I just kind of jumped into it. So I wonder what everyone else is using, you know?
As far as I know, I have a MSI brand one, and I think I just need
of them.
I think you just need to make sure that are they mega gigahertz?
Mega gigahertz, son.
Just the gigahertz are what, at least 120, so you can get 120 frames per second.
So I'm using it's just like your standard Dell, but it was higher. It was more expensive than like I bought another one when I was using that fucking dumb Mac Mini, and that one was significantly less quality than the one I used to game. Like it looks good.
Well, the thing about PC gaming is that you could buy, like I bought one, when did I buy this? Like 4 or 5 months ago. And a gaming PC, I mean, and it's got to be obsolete now, right?
Yeah.
Like it was
It's
pretty
like a car.
good.
You can't use it for anything.
Depreciates in value.
No one would buy that now. You know, they'd be like, "Oh, well, I'll give you $200." You know?
Not a good investment.
But for you, it was perfect. It's like my Mac I got a month ago. They probably have already released 2 new Macs since this one came out.
Well, I mean, for me also, I was getting flamed because I bought this and I played like Spelunky 2, which is a fire game. I love that game so much. But it doesn't need a lot of power to run on.
You're not pushing power or pushing P.
But now I just play Rimjob World a lot.
Rimjob World is good.
I'm Rimworld. I'm sorry.
Oh, right.
Rimworld. That's a lot of fun. But also, I'm going to say, probably doesn't need all the computing power that I have. So I don't know what games I should.
Well, you also got it too to help with video editing and
which it turns out I don't do any of anyway. I think I tried to help one week.
I do think, and I could be wrong, but I do think there's something to. I'm not like super all in on Macs, but I do think that they have a really good platform for editing music, and not to say you can't do that on a computer, but I think they're like the Macs do that really well, and it's super like kind of seamless. It's easy, and especially because like we use iPhones, so it makes that transition and kind of like moving one thing to another, like it makes it super seamless.
You could text me very easily from your computer.
Oh yeah, yep.
I do like that. That is nice.
That's but where it's annoying is, oh, you didn't choose to make any upgrades. Well, now you don't get to.
Now you have to buy a whole new thing.
You better do it when you buy it. And that's it. So I guess in theory, when you go to the Apple Store, they just have like a ton of different fucking, because it's not like they're making it for you, or it's like, so like they just say, okay, we have 10 of this specific model, we have 10 of this specific one. We don't have that one, so it has to get ordered for you. But I guess
if you want the extra features, they'd have to say, all right, you can get it in 4 or 5 days.
But this one I upgraded and they had it, so it must be very specific on what you're getting. Or, because like I feel like they probably don't stock those like $10,000 ones in the back, but maybe they fucking do. I don't know.
I bet they do.
They probably
do. You know
do.
what? If I'm gonna go drop $10,000 fucking dollars in your store, I better have it now.
And also, if you're dropping money like that, do they send one of their like loss prevention guys with? Do you think you could ask for that? I don't know if that's something that when you make a big purchase, do you get like I'm buying a Rolex for $30,000. Will they walk you to your car? Like,
they sell Rolexes at the mall, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. I remember when that first happened, and there was always an armed security guard in there.
Well, I mean, when you think of rich and you think of expensive, like and watches, I always immediately, and I know there are tons of other really nice watches, but I just always think of Rolex and like not royalty but money.
Yeah, fuck you, money.
Yeah, and I would absolutely, if I had that kind of money, I'm gonna put it on right now. We said we're gonna go spend a ton of money on food. I'm going to also buy a Rolex. I think that's gonna be
Spend a ton of money. I'm gonna
on
spend
food and watches.
I'm gonna buy a $200 dinner, and then I'm gonna go buy a $35,000 watch.
But then it would be
Cool.
too afraid. So when you have jewelry like that,
Yeah.
I don't want to wear it because I'm gonna either like scratch it, I'm gonna lose it, I'm gonna break it, someone's gonna steal it, right? Like for me, I like to have nothing of value. If you take what, you're gonna take my fucking credit cards, enjoy debt, you know?
Hey,
Like,
you can take over these payments.
yeah, sure, right. I don't carry cash ever.
Rarely, yeah.
Rare, unless I'm going somewhere that, and most places don't accept, like, okay, how do you feel about venues not accepting cash anymore? A lot of them have the reverse ATMs where you put your cash in, and I don't know if it gives you like a debit card or
What?
they have one at the Citizens Bank, like at Citizens Bank, and it's a reverse debit card. So I guess you put 20 in. I'm going to assume they take a transaction fee,
That's wild.
and then I wonder if it spits you out like a temporary debit card. Or
That's-
because if you don't have a bank account, unless you put your debit card in, you put the cash in, and then it somehow links it,
I doubt it.
or it just gives you like a temporary, like
Yeah,
it
like
spits you out like a game
one of those
card.
Visa gift card
Yep,
things.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's fucking weird. I can understand from like a business standpoint of view why they wouldn't want like people to be handling cash if they could just take cash out of the equation.
Sure.
But I don't like it. I'll tell you what does bother me though. I went to the gas station the other day. This was a while back, and I pulled cash specifically. Whenever I get my hair cut, I like to pay in cash, tip in cash, and everything. I feel like it's just they deserve that. They work hard. I don't think that they necessarily get paid like enough all the time. I think that there's enough cheap
Well,
people
especially
out
if you're
there.
paying in cash, I feel like it's instant. You're not waiting for like a payout if it's at the end of the week or whatever, you know.
So I always go down the street and I hit the bank, and then I go but then sometimes I want change beforehand. I don't want to necessarily have to deal with change at the register.
Then go walk awkwardly
I'll say,
back.
hey, yeah, right, exactly. So I always go to the gas station.
Sure.
So I try to pay with a 20, and I buy a Monster.
Okay.
I fucking love Monsters.
Sure.
The new green cap ones.
Are those the sugar-free ones?
They're sort of sugar-free. I think they
Are they diet
it might
Monsters?
Say, yeah, it's you know how they have Diet Coke, but then they also have Coke Zero.
Yeah.
I think this is the Coke Zero version of Monster. I like that better than the
Do they have
sugar-free
like
ones.
some sort of like Splenda or?
Yeah, you know what? I
Ugh.
don't have a can to check there is an active ingredient.
It always
in
leaves
there.
that like aftertaste though. Like,
A little bit. I don't mind it. I don't mind it in that drink anyway. So anyway, but I
Yep.
go to the gas station and I buy just one can, and I slide him a 20, and he goes,
okay.
I'm literally just looking for change.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, bro, I can't take that. You got anything? You got anything closer than a 20? I'm like, so. But then I see they're just not dealing with as much cash as they used to. So like they just don't have it. But that annoyed the fuck out of me. I was like, I came here for change. That's it.
So is cash no longer king? Right? Like, I mean, for a
No,
while.
cash is most definitely still king.
think cash
At least
is still
still right
king?
now, it is. Like, hey, if I get paid, anytime we pay a babysitter, cash is best.
Cash is always so. I think it was in not Banshee, Ozark, when Jason Bateman's like, well, with that money, you essentially just have free groceries and gas for the rest of your life.
The unlaundered money,
when
the
they
one
take
that you
the
can't buy
bag of
anything.
cash, because okay, that's not necessarily like a bad thing, and you can still pay a lot of bills in cash, right?
Listen,
like you pay your like electric bill. You can pay.
If that season of the Ozarks was right now, having enough cash to just pay the rest of my groceries, like groceries are fucking money.
But that bag wouldn't have been. It's not unlimited groceries anymore. That's like a year's worth. So, yeah, I mean, I guess cash is still king, but a lot of places just don't want to fucking deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But some people who I saw a video, and it was this older gentleman, and I think it was in like London, and he was paying, and they didn't take. I guess it's the current. He was paying in coins, and he's like, "Here's the money. It is $2.79 or whatever." And they're like, "Sir, we can only take cards. Like we can't take cash." So the dude drops it and then proceeds to walk out. They call the police or whatever. And I guess there was a lot of controversy. Like stores, I feel like it makes sense if you go to a grocery store and it is card only at a self-checkout, cash or card at a register with a person. I think that's fair. I get if you don't want people like getting change dispensed out of a self-service machine. Like cards only. A lot of them are like some of them dispense cash, and it's always in increments of what 20 typically at a grocery store. But I feel like if there's someone taking the order and scanning it, which leads me to my next thing, right? So we talked about shopping carts, and that really just kicked up a lot of fucking controversy. There, it's so
fired up about taking your shopping carts back.
Those who want to take your carts back, and those who think that you shouldn't have to. You and I are both on the same page where, like, if you use the cart, you should put the cart back.
You mean we're on the right side of history?
Someone made a very valid point too. Like, hey, on top of that, if you're walking in and you see a cart, also maybe take that cart and use that one instead of leaving it. I never thought about that. I do that anyway because then it's less work. I don't have to go and get
out
one
of my way to get
one.
Because
they're
already
stuck
right there.
together when you're trying to get them, and then I'm like, nope, and then you have to move a rope, nope, and then so you can fucking get one.
Listen, as a previous cart boy, I appreciate when people do that.
Likewise,
and
you and I were both cart boy, and I yes, because it takes how many seconds, and then someone said, well, what if you have kids? Having kids, how are you supposed to take the cart back? Like this, right? You walk your kid, or you carry your kid, or you leave them in the little seat. You put the cart back, and then you walk them or carry them back to your car.
It's not that hard. People will just look for excuses to
not
do what the right thing or
did someone say main character syndrome?
Sure.
If you don't put it back, and that's
absolutely
true.
Stop. That fucking grinds me up. I hate it.
Something that I hear a lot. So someone goes to a grocery store and they check themselves out and they say, well, where's my W-2? Do you think, what is your opinion on self-checkouts? Are you for it or are you against it?
I'm for it. I don't really want to deal with a person anyway. And like, how about this? The amount of people that they'd have to have on staff at any given time. Listen, do you remember the time before self-checkouts? You could get to Acme on a Sunday, right? Real busy day, and they've got 2 people, 1 person called out. Well, guess what? Now, as the customer, that's now your problem because that 1 person called out. They could try to get somebody else to cover the shift. But instead of that, you could have 6 fucking registers running at the same time with just 1 of those people. Well, and then they should have another one. I think that they should always have a person checking people out. At least one.
And it was always, right? So if back before self-checkout, like if you had one thing and say like you had one thing and I had a whole shopping cart, I would say, hey, do you want to, you can go ahead of me because it's going to take a little while. Right?
But then you'd always get fucked. But then you'd always get fucked. Like that person wants a pack of cigarettes from behind the counter, and then they have to walk to
another register, or like they're paying with a check. So I am 100% for self-checkout. Like I think self-checkout registers are amazing, with the exception of a really large order. Like,
yeah,
Aldi kind of sucks because I love that they have so many, but if I'm using the self-checkout and I have like 100 things, there's not enough space. And if the register is closed, then I'm fucked. So I think there needs to, yes, be that person for those larger orders. But if you have a small enough order, there should be an item limit. I feel like it's fair, you know.
It's like the express line.
Yes, right. But it's not rocket science. But also W-2s. Come on, like so you're valuing your time. So it's going to take me less time to scan my shit than it's probably going to take to wait in line and have someone else do it for me.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, so
you know what always makes me laugh is when fast food restaurants started rolling out those little screens that you can plug your orders into, and like, I'll just say it. Boomers would just go up to the counter where there's nobody standing there just because that's what they're used to.
Yep.
But then they also want to be, is there anybody working here?
Or I want to pay with cash. And there, if you use the screen, there is the option where you can hit pay with cash and someone walks over and says, all right,
and then they just handle the $20
or whatever.
I'll tell you what, I love those fucking screens. Listen, hear me out. I go to Taco Bell. My new thing is I'll order, I'm being real cheap, lunch.
Yeah.
2 bean burritos. Boom, boom. That's all I need. But you know what I really enjoy in there? Extra onions. If I'm ordering to a person, I never think about it. But while I'm ordering it on the screen, I see all the options in front of me and I can customize it literally any way that I want. Like you ask somebody and go, shit, wait, remember the last time we went to Wendy's, which was the last time that we're ever going to go to Wendy's?
Never again.
And Wes ordered the bacon burger, whatever it was. And then he said, What did he,
Do you want extra? Wait, you want extra bacon on that?
he said with bacon or something. He ordered it in a dumb way because he was just being quirky. But then she said, "Wait, you want extra bacon?" And then she was like, "I don't know if that comes with bacon." Taking the screens take all that out of the equation because you can go on there and say, "Do you want to take the bacon off of a sandwich? Do you want to add more bacon onto a sandwich? Here's your popular upgrades."
And you know what? Each upgrade adds to the business, right? So you do it without thinking, but you're paying like 55 cents, 65 cents. So I'll add at Taco Bell jalapenos, everything. It's like an extra 65 cents per item. And I do it. So I'll pay the extra $3 to add it on top of all my shit. But that's not something I would do. So I think they're super beneficial to the actual business. But to me also, then I don't have to like awkwardly ask if you have something. And there are sometimes like those hidden items on there. So like McDonald's you can get the double filet o fish through the screen. You could probably, I guess you could probably ask for that, but like I wouldn't think about it, you know? So to me, it's like being able to be kind of self-reliant on yourself is so huge to me because then I don't have to worry about other people, right? Mm-hmm. And like sometimes they're down, you know, and then, okay, I'll go up and I'll talk to somebody. But I think being able to do things myself makes life so much better.
There's those like ramen shops that they have that you don't actually have to interact with another human being at all. Like, so you go in and you grab like a punch card almost.
Sure.
And there's a little pencil, like you go putt-putting. It's a little tiny mini pencil.
Tiny one. It's never
and
quite
you just
sharp
check
enough.
off what you want, extra toppings, and you handwrite anything else, and then you just sit down, and it's a booth, just a single person booth, and there's a little curtain in front of you. You slide your little card, you slide it underneath the curtain, and then they bring you your whatever you've ordered. They open up the curtain, they give it to you, and then they close it, and that's it.
They just
you don't
slam
have to,
it shut.
And there's blinders, like when you go to piss in a urinal. There's a little blinders there, so you don't have to talk to the people next to you.
Good.
That sounds
I love that.
Fantastic. Let me just be by myself. If I want to go out and talk to people, I'll go out to the bar, and I'll go talk to people like that, which I've done like once by myself. It feels weird to go to a bar by yourself.
A restaurant is better. Do you like going to restaurants by yourself?
I rarely do it.
I do too, but I don't hate it
because of the way that it looks.
It's sad. It looks kind of sad.
Yeah.
But also too like I used to go a lot before Jen and I were married and I was living at home. It was like, oh, I worked until 6. I'm going to go to Applebee's or wherever and just sit down, have a beer, and just eat by myself in peace. Like, it's different, I feel like, when you have kids and family because it's like, oh, I need to be home, you know? But
yeah, I'm just getting away from the wife and kids.
Yeah, right. Well, I do want to backpedal a little bit. So you said something interesting.
Uh-huh.
You call it putt-putt, right?
Oh, yeah.
I call it putt-putt too.
Yeah.
But Jenna calls it mini golf and looked at me sideways when I said putt-putt. What do you think's more common, putt-putt or mini golf in terms of like what you actually call it?
I bet mini golf is more common. Why do we call it putt-putt then?
Is putt-putt a local thing?
Because it's all you do. It's just putt-putt. All you do is putt.
You're only
all
putting.
I do is putt, no
yeah,
matter
you're
what.
only putting. So I wonder how,
I wonder if there's another nickname for it. Like, do they call it something else on the West Coast?
Okay.
What is all putts?
What do you call mini golf, putt-putt? I don't want to say the sport. The game where you hit a ball into a hole that normally has colorful characters.
Novelty characters.
Novelty, like...
there's a dinosaur. There's a pirate.
There's a shark. There's always a shark. There's probably a clown, a windmill.
Giraffe.
Yep. And the paint is normally chipped off of the things.
Kids smacking it with their clubs.
Yep. And then there's always that last hole. So we went to... Birdies in Middletown. I know you've been there as well. Mm-hmm. And the last hole is the one where you just hit it and your ball's gone. You know, you hit it.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, Isla, when you hit it in, that's it. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. And then the ball obviously didn't come back. That was fucking devastating to her. It's like, well, I told you. So is that how all mini golf is? Is the last hole always like a ball return, essentially?
It should be, yeah.
Right?
Otherwise, people would probably keep their balls.
Steal the balls. So you hit the ball back, and then here's my club.
And then what do you do with it?
Dude,
what would you do with that ball if you're stealing putt-putt balls?
Can you golf with those balls, or are they different? Are they weighted different?
There's people that don't want to golf with used golf balls.
Well, I think that's why there's the ball washer too. Like, is like
yeah.
a little like. Um, wait, is there a difference golfing with a used ball? I guess to golfers, yes.
Probably. Yeah,
Right?
I think if you're just smacking them down the range, obviously you're not going to use new balls for that. But I think if you're playing like a game, I'm pretty sure golf balls are expensive too. But they sell them in those big packs.
Yeah.
That you just like, hey, I don't know how many balls do you need? Do you have to replace
I guess
them?
that's why when you go to like a driving range, like the balls are included, so they probably they go and collect them.
Well, that's what you buy. That's all you're paying for, really. It's just the bucket. Do you want the small, the medium, the large bucket?
Yep.
Oh, let's go to a driving range.
Okay.
I want to swing some. Wait, we could probably do that at Vince's? No, I don't know if Vince's actually has a driving range. They have the chip and putt, the little 3-par.
Well, so what's the Top Golf? Have you been to Top Golf?
No, I have not.
But I heard they're making one for, was it football or basketball? They're like making another. It's going to be Top something.
Top balls.
So we always want to go to the one in Florida, but it's always so fucking crowded.
Yeah.
But it just seems like a lot of fun.
Sure. Yeah.
Hitting balls off of fucking off of 3 floors up and just whacking them.
Mm-hmm. I would do it.
I would do it too. I think there's one in Baltimore or in Maryland.
Let's fucking go.
We should.
Okay. All right.
Also, I this morning, I was dabbling in some of the hot sauces that we got. So
was I.
What, last weekend? Was it last? It was. 1 week ago.
Yep.
Today.
Mm-hmm. We were at
as
the
of the
Philly
recording
Hot
of this
Sauce
episode,
Festival.
we went to the Philly Hot Sauce Festival. What was what did you feel? Like, how was your?
Oh, the festival was awesome. I
loved it.
I also then, but so while I enjoyed everything about it,
yeah,
I tried a lot of hot sauces, and so everyone was so friendly. It was a lot. There was a lot of camaraderie. People were nice, and they wanted to talk. And I mean, obviously, they want to sell you their stuff.
Sure.
But it was, hey, and there were some good salespeople that were there slinging hot sauces, and they said, "Hey, here is our," and they wouldn't even like ask if you want anything. It's like, here is our original. It's very good. It's great with chips. Here you go, and they would give it to you, and you taste it, and then you say, "All right," and then now we're ramping up, and then they just keep feeding you hot sauce and feeding you hot sauce.
It was always like a flight, like of beers, but it was like, this is our lowest heat to our hot as fuck. Well, hot as fuck.
And so I kept. Greg you can take hot sauce better than I can.
Yeah.
But you were being smart, and you were like, "Oh, I'll pass on this one right here." But
and you
kept
did
going. I didn't know how to say no to these people, so I just kept going. And then they'd see it, and there would just be steam coming out of my ears, and I was just like hot, sweating. Like I needed a headband, like Mike Jack.
So when we got there, we obviously were always planning on going, but it was, to me, such a unique, like, I've never been to anything like that, like specifically for hot sauce. Like, it was really cool. Neshaminy Creek Brewery, right outside of Philly. Croydon, I think. Crofton.
No, I think you said it right.
Croydon, wherever. So it was like right outside of Philly, essentially. And so they were very gracious. They were very, very nice, very friendly. Thank you for that.
I want to go back.
I want to go back too. But the food there was also great. We got to speak with a lot of people there. We did an interview with Mike Jack, who holds a shitload of world records for eating Carolina Reapers. He actually did a little bit there, and him doing that made me want to die. Like, as he was eating it, it looked horrible.
It was admirable, but it was tough to watch.
It was very tough to watch.
I was like, "Woo, go, Mike!" And then I would just go like, and he's just like,
yeah,
and like as you should be, because I couldn't eat one of those things.
It's impressive, but you know what? Kudos to Cast Iron Kyle and White House Station Sauce Company. Who kind of, I guess, kind of organized the whole event. We got to see our boy.
It was good.
Captain Cook's food.
Chris. It was awesome to meet Chris.
Met Chris. Got to hang out with him. And we got to just network with a lot of people, which was really, really cool. So we would definitely do it again. I know there was another one coming up, but we have so much other stuff going on, and it's kind of soon. But I was talking to Cast Iron Kyle, and he was like, "Hey, the one in Boston's going to be in March, and we're going to get like an Airbnb for podcasting. So that's a real possibility for us. I'm not opposed to that at all, especially with like so much notice like that. Right the fuck on.
Right. Yeah. I'll check my calendar.
Yeah. So who knows? Who knows? But it was a really cool event. But to backpedal, so now Eric and I have a shit ton of hot sauces, right? Like I have so many different hot sauces now where it's like this is a habanero whatever. I have a pineapple jerk habanero, which I really have you dabbled in that? So there were a lot of different. No two hot sauces were the same, and that to me was cool. But it was very, very interesting.
That's good. I'll tell you the thing that I'm enjoying the most. I don't know what you like to put your hot sauce on to try it, like as not a neutral thing. Like obviously tortilla chips would be the thing that you try it to get the real flavor out of it. I've been using it mostly on like breakfast burritos.
Sure.
I mean, burritos in general lend themselves.
I think so eggs, right? Like I always think eggs and hot sauce, always, and pizza and hot sauce for some reason.
Yeah, I
or
do like
you know what else? Pasta. Like I like to put it on. Like if I'm having like pasta with a meat sauce, I'll put a hot sauce on it. But pizza and eggs to me are the two things that I think of hot. And I don't know why pizza.
You say pasta with a meat sauce, and you put hot sauce on there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so and it doesn't always work. So I'll gamble and I'll put a little bit. Like, all right, let's try this one. Like a habanero.
Am I thinking correctly? Tell me if I'm wrong. That was like the do you remember the Cincinnati chili factory where they would put like chili on spaghetti?
Yeah.
That's kind of what that sounds like.
It's not like so like I won't go with like I'm not going to put jerk sauce on pasta, right? But like I'll say, okay, this is a honey habanero.
Yeah.
And then you'll try it and you're like, nope, that doesn't work. Let's try this one, you know? So they don't always work, but when they do work, it's fucking awesome. But my thing is too with hot sauce, like I'm not a huge hot sauce guy. Like I like hot sauces, but they're not my favorite thing in the world, if that makes sense. Like I would much rather prefer like a mayonnaise or like a chipotle, like an aioli, you know. So like those are kind of more of my thing, but I like hot sauce too.
Because the sauce is the boss for any meal. Like
ask Guy Fieri. I mean, he is the sauce boss.
He's also the mayor of Flavortown.
And is it the fucking Philly Hunch?
Yeah. Actually, I appreciate that being called the Philly Hunch.
Sure, right. So, you know, I think it's one of those things where hot sauce, to me, they're good, but it's not my favorite. They're not my favorite thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know,
you know what I'm doing right after this? I got to go pretty soon. I have to go help somebody move a shuffleboard table. We were talking about picking up heavy shit earlier, and I was thinking that's what I have to go do.
So are you taking it out, or are they just moving it?
Taking it out,
and they're getting rid of it.
My friend's selling it. Yeah, he's selling it to somebody, which is a bummer because I really like playing shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard's fun, man.
Shuffleboard is fun.
Are they going to replace it with?
I don't know what
like
they're going to
do.
A
different type of heavy table, like a fucking pool table?
I hope not. I had someone gave us a like legitimate slate pool table at our old house. I don't know if you
yeah.
Remember that one? We carried it down like the steps. Like those slate pool tables are fucking heavy.
That's why you got to get a professional crew of fucking people, and that's why they charge so much goddamn money to do it.
Well, guess what? I'm about to be the professional crew. I joke anytime that somebody asks me to come move stuff, and I go, "Hey, at least you called in the big guns." And I always go, "Yep," because they want my.
And yeah, totally. Why? Yeah, you can also throw your back out with me. That's why I refuse to get a pickup truck.
Oh yeah, because everybody is.
Then your truck guy.
Yeah.
Hey. Who's the first person I'm going to call? Truck guy.
Truck guy for sure.
I'm gonna call. Well, I call you first, and then I'll call truck guy.
And then we'll find a truck guy to call together.
You know, it's crazy to me how heavy pool tables are. So you pay to get it moved, and then like the felt. I don't know if shuffleboard tables are also as expensive to maintain. Probably not.
No felt, but I know that there's a finish. You know, for at least for them, whenever I would go over to their house, they would always try to like. Every table has like a natural like. Not that it should be flat, right?
Sure.
But like when you slide the shuffle what are those little pieces? Whatever. You slide them across the table. You slide them across the table, and there's like, hey, it leans into the left. But then to make it, you're supposed to just make it like as, naturally even as possible. So you have to adjust the legs so that it doesn't, it's just always dipping off to the left or always dipping off to the right.
But also, too, like, I don't think I have ever met anyone who has a shuffleboard table.
Sure.
So that sucks for you because now you'll never get to play ever again.
I have to find a bar that has one.
I used to go, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, like house parties, right? And like when I was younger, and every party you went to always had a pool table, and the people were always the most, like, the people attending the party were always the most disrespectful people to it. Like, they would be like making out on it, pouring beer on it, fucking setting their drink. Like, imagine, like, fuck that.
So, okay, did I ever tell you this story about my pool table? I had a pool table. I wasn't good at pool or anything like that, so I didn't really. I mean, I cared about it. It was a nice pool table. But then there was this party that we threw. It was a light party. There wasn't anything. So there was a few friends, and then there was this girl that came over. I forget whose birthday it was. It was a friend Matt's birthday, I think it was, and he brought this girl over, and we'd never met her before. But we said any friend of Matt is a friend of ours. This girl goes, my friend Corey, but he goes, he's a real pusher. He wants people to get drunk. So he's the one who's like, take this shot. And she goes, oh, honey, you don't want me to take that shot. You don't want to see me there. And he's like, oh, no, I most definitely do. I'll skip a bunch.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, though, she was twerking on the pool table, and then we couldn't get her down. Then she started throwing up. And
over it?
Oh, my God. And she was ridiculous. All over everything. And then, like, I think Shay had work the next day, and she was trying to sleep, and we were like, shh, don't wake Shay. It was absolutely miserable, but you said disrespecting pool tables, and I thought right of her.
Do you miss parties like that? I don't. I really don't, man.
Not
like
really.
I like getting a nice buzz on, but dude, like I don't miss the let's rage Friday and Saturday until 5 a.m. every week. Like I don't miss that shit, man.
I mean, I had been doing that pretty recent. Not pretty recent. Within the last few years, I've done that a good little bit, but
we used to do it all the time on like work nights, and it gets super tough as you get. Do you remember you stayed over one night? I think it was like until like 3 or 4 a.m. and then we both had work at like 7.
Yep.
And we were watching like, all right, let's watch the Walking Dead finale. And then we started playing Rock Band. And then those space dusts start flowing.
Oh, yeah.
And then before you know it, it's...
What was the one night we were doing Gatorade shots?
Oh.
And you were hung over. Were you throwing up?
That was like borderline alcohol poisoning probably, right?
Yeah, you might have had. Yeah.
What is the... I think that's the drunkest that I've ever been. What is the drunkest or the most alcohol that you've consumed where you were like, oh, I might actually die?
First time I ever drank. Someone, our Connect got a bottle of, it was a plastic bottle handle of McCormick vodka.
Vodka? Ugh.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. And so, a handle there.
Oh, yeah.
Yay tall. There's a handle on it,
yep.
And they're like this wide around
yep.
at the base. Yep. So we're all splitting it and pouring it into our drinks or whatever. I'm underage at this point. I don't know how much I don't know how much I consumed. I don't know how much everybody else consumed. But at the very bottom of it, there was like, oh, there's only like this much left. That doesn't look like that much. It was a fucking lot because the bottle's so wide on the bottom.
Yeah, right.
So I just take it to the face and I start chugging it down. And I remember that feeling like that glug, glug, glug. And then it was finished. I've never drank more liquor than that in one swallow. And now I have a problem taking shots. Like it hits that gag reflex.
Shots in general.
Shots in general are very difficult for me. Even chugging beer too much because it hits that same gag reflex because I chugged vodka when I was... I don't know, 17 years old.
Well, if it's any consolation, I haven't had grape Gatorade since, and that was almost 10 years ago, probably.
It probably was.
And I don't even really drink. Was it grape? It was grape. Was it grape vodka?
It might have been grape vodka.
It was like grape vodka, Sprite.
I forget what else was
They
in
were good. I mean, that was really probably one of the best tasting. I mean, it was enough where the three of us drank a whole fucking. We crushed. It was you, me, and Jenna. We crushed majority of that in a couple hours, but. I can't. You know what? I also, and ironically enough, I posted that meme about Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I had Pizza Hut once, and I got food poisoning, or I was just sick, like a stomach bug. Like I don't know if it was the Pizza Hut, but I threw it up, and I haven't had Pizza Hut since. And that was when was Pinky and the Brain still really relevant? It was that long ago.
A really long time ago. So I just looked it up. Apparently, it just has grape-flavored Gatorade or Powerade, clear or citrus-flavored vodka, and ice cubes.
That's definitely not what we did. Ours was way more involved because we didn't actually have grape Gatorade. We used grape something.
Oh, here you go. So someone here, their recipe is lemonade vodka, blue curacao. Is it curacao?
Yes, yeah, we did.
And then topped with Sprite.
Yep,
that actually checks out.
Yep,
and that makes it purple.
Yep. And then it'll get you drunk.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And it did.
Sure will.
But never again. Like I can't party like that anymore. Where it's like let's crush the whole bottle.
The real standard shot these days, I feel like, is just Fireball.
Yep.
Like, hey,
that's the only one I could take.
Round of Fire, because I think everybody can. I don't like whiskey, but it's a cinnamon whiskey, and it's like a flavored cinnamon whiskey.
And I can do one, and I'm cool.
It still makes me want to.
Oh yeah. What was it? Rum chata?
Cum chata?
Cum chata, where it would make Cinnamon Toast Crunch shots. What was it? It was rum chata and Fireball, right? And it would make Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
which is good.
And it was good. But we also used to get obliterated on that, man.
And then alternatively, instead of this cinnamon flavor, if you want something spicy that's not cinnamon, you could do Rumple Mints.
It's like pretty fucking good.
It's like brushing your teeth, but it's also really fucking strong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I feel like most of these shots typically are.
Fireball is not.
I can drink a good bit of Fireball, but I don't want to.
Right.
Like that's not like.
It goes back to that. I don't need to
I
be
want to
fucking...
handle. Like I like the little Christmas packs where it's like a little Christmas tree, and like that's fun. Like
there's the candy cane full of Fireball shots.
Yep,
we like to take them to tailgate things.
But nope. Cool, man. Well, enjoy your moving of the shuffleboard table, trying to throw your fucking back out.
Yeah, I'll let you know how my back feels. I'll text you later.
Yep. Cool, man.
All right,
see ya.